Wow, that was quick. YouTube says we're live, so welcome to Worldwide Stock Car Chat on Zoom number 234. I'm your host, Greg Gow. The gang's all here with Luff is back, and Courtney, and Jerry's back, and John, and John, and Don, and John, and Don, and John, and Don, and John, and Don, Mike, and Jeremy, and Lenny, and Gio, and Garth. I recently was billed for the next year of Zoom, which I have to pay for in order to host long sessions. And I don't think I'm going to renew automatically anymore. So we'll have a conversation next year as to whether or not I keep paying for it, or somebody else wants to start paying for it, or if somebody else has an account through work or something that they can use, like we did with Kelly for a while. But yeah, so one more year at least, and then we'll see from there. But that out of the way, let's do some slot car talking, and let's start with show and tell. And Gio had his hand up, and he's ready to go. Go ahead, Gio.
Not 100% ready to go. So it's a kind of a bit of I would say club corner to some extent.
The segments are just suggestions. Show whatever you want, talk about whatever you want, as long as it's slot cars.
So I basically have been faffing around with recording the sessions that we do in my club, but so far I've been basically taking videos of the cars going around the track. You can hear us talking, you can hear the beeping and whatnot from the software, but you don't see what's happening. And with digital, basically, half of the fun is the strategy that happens in the pit. So finally, I managed to sort out a way in which I can capture the live action on the track, but at the same time, what's happening on the screen. And the main kind of hurdle was to try to find something that works on a 12 years old Windows 7 laptop. That's what I'm using at the moment for running RCS02, because it's a pretty old software with a lab view, blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's complicated. But I managed to find a version of OBS that runs on that version of Windows that I have and works pretty well. So what I'm going to show you is just some kind of short part of the videos. I have a qualify session, and I also I don't know if it was during a live session or was, I think, after the live session, but I think Jeremy mentioned something that I would like to see which are the drivers or the cars the drivers or the teams are using, blah, blah. So try to take some of that on board in order for people also to understand what's going on. What is it? So I'm not optimizing. I mean, it's going to be crappy, video, blah, blah, blah. But just to give you a bit of a feeling of what it is. But, I mean, you can find also on YouTube. But anyway, so I'm starting, and then I will stop where I need to stop. So this is the intro. I don't know if you can hear the audio, but so here I'm giving a bit of information about which car, who is the driver for each of the car, and then this is the track, and on top I have here mask with the software. So this is the starting part, and then this is basically self-explanatory, I would say. Again, I don't know much you are hearing. So yeah, so this basically, now you can see cars circulating. At the same time, you have information about the lap times, fuel consumption, tires, and so on and so forth. So the beep, 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 beep is the fastest lap, as you can imagine. And then, scrolling through, you can have like when people go inside the pit. So here you can see that the session is, the dashboard has changed. Some are refueling, some are waiting, and whatnot. And then towards the end of the session, let's see, 8 seconds to go. And then almost start. And then basically stopping here with the kind of result. So these are kind of things that I've kind of shown as screenshots in the past. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, the other things that I kind of learned over the weekend has been editing software. So from last week, after the live session, we talk about which kind of software to use, and Greg and Wayne suggest to use UCAT as an app on the phone. And I can say it's a very good app for what it does, and it's free, of course. But I still prefer a full-fledged, keyboards, screen, and whatnot. So I end up using CapCut, which is a very good editing software. I mean, it does everything that you need. So I did a bunch of tutorials online, and the last one that I kind of looked up was about gaming and streaming games, where you have also the face of the gamer on top, and that's what I use for try to kind of have the mask with the screen down on the corner. Anyway, it's possible even with the old machine, and it took me basically what I would say maybe a couple of days to come up with enough. I mean, to collect enough knowledge to use the software for editing. Anyway, that's all.
Cool. I liked it. I saw your post earlier. I don't know if you want to do this or not, and you obviously know that you can change the size of the screen that you put in, but you can also crop to specific portions of that program window. Like, you don't have to share your whole computer screen. You can have just a program window appear, and you can crop out the parts of that window you don't want, so you can make the important bits as big as you can without any extraneous screen or window stuff around the information.
Yeah. I try to kind of to squeeze the mask, because basically I'm using a mask in order to crop as close as possible to. The thing is that RCS does not take the full screen. You cannot make the screen full and then basically try to use that. So you have the crop is at least for what I can see, the mask does not allow you to change the dimensions or crop only from one side, because I could have been more precise. So it's basically once you're cropping on both sides. So I have to kind of maybe experiment a bit more. So that's why there is a bit of a blue that you can see, because I could not crop as close as I want to.
It could be the version that you had to use for that version of Windows 2, because I was able to use the latest version because I'm running a Windows 10 on my track computer. But
so you're talking about OBS?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have to. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so because what I was talking about is, I mean, I take the full thing, and then I crop into CapCut in the editing software, and then I do the other mask.
Yeah. No, I meant. Yeah, in OBS. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I need to watch a couple of tutorials for OBS to see what. I mean, it's also like at the moment is. I have to take a picture of the cars, then put the phone on the bloody stand, and then click and record, and they start the timing, and then clean the tires and all the other things. So I don't know. I mean, yesterday basically I didn't manage to screw any videos. So I was recording on both of them, stop both of them. So, but I don't know how much I can do that. I mean, I will see. I mean,
you just started messing with it, so you'll find new things and new ways of doing stuff for sure. So yeah. Great start, looking good.
And Gio, remember, it's supposed to be fun.
Yes, I mean, to a certain extent, I understand. Yeah.
All right, moving on, Mr. Broke, what you got?
Oh, g'day. How you going, everybody? Just a bit being serious. Got to remember they're only toys until you pull the trigger.
Yeah, then they're race cars.
Okay, just a quick one. we've had a bit of an outbreak of 3D printed tyre cleaning machines at one of the clubs I race at. Being a bit of a tight ass myself, I thought I'd make one. So this is what I've done. I've used an old
Yeah.
plinth off a polycar in this case, and cut the lid down so it squeezed inside. And there's a 9-volt battery in there. And I knocked off one of the missus's sponges, which didn't please her too much, but anyway. So that cost me $2 in the end instead of $50. So that's it for me on show and tell. Works well enough. Every time I do a lane change, I give the tyres a bit of a scrub, and then away we go again.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
Good job.
Yep, I've had a few comments about it at the club. Some of the guys that bought $55 for a 3D printed one are too pleased. But
I bet you all the New Zealanders are kicking themselves they didn't think of that.
oh, the New Zealanders, yeah. South Pacific Mexicans.
Jeez. All right. Thank you, sir. Moving on. Go ahead, Don.
Well, I purchased one of the
All right, cool.
new NASCARs from Carrera. Don't know how well the looks of it are coming through.
Looks nice. Have you taken it off and given it a try yet?
No, I just now took the top off of it
Nice.
so you could see it.
Brand spanking new. Yeah, have to get me a Napa one.
I'm thinking about one of the others also. And then another car that I have been wanting for a long time, only this one's a little bigger.
Yeah.
Nice.
And no, I haven't run it yet either. But I've been waiting for that NASCAR for a while and then turned around and got this one also.
Spoil yourself.
Just some more toys for the collect dust.
Heck yeah.
What,
All right.
Don, what's your impression of the NASCAR? Just
Appearance wise.
Well, as far as the detail on it goes, it's probably very close to what the real NASCAR looks like. But if you think that it has the normal lights and tail lights on it, no, it has the same kind as what's on real NASCARs, which is basically a sticker. So,
good.
if folks were wondering, although it's supposed to have lights in it, like I haven't tried it yet, so I don't know.
I'm curious about the drivetrain because I saw somebody on Facebook or one of the forums asking if the slotted rear axle kit for Carrera cars fits. And I'm like, why wouldn't it? It's Carrera, and they're all pretty much the same as far as drivetrain. You know, the 132nd cars are pretty much all the same drivetrain wise. But then I'm wondering now, did they change something? You know, is there something different about the NASCARs, like different bushings or something that would not make it fit?
Well, from underneath it, it doesn't look that much different than any other Carrera setups.
Still in line, right? And
yeah,
magnet into the motor, pain in the butt to take out. So yeah, I didn't I didn't look to find if anybody had answered that later on, but
grab yourself a screwdriver and start taking it apart. You got 2 hours.
Yeah, go ahead, Don. I would bet money that it's exactly the same, and that the person just didn't know that pretty much all 132nd Carreras are the same in that regard, and didn't want to buy it without being sure. No, I'm sure somebody said, no, don't worry about it. Go ahead and buy that. All done, Don?
Yeah.
All righty. Go ahead, Mr. Weber.
All righty. This has to do with a new tool I have acquired. Let's see if I can make it better, more visible. It's a hot glue gun that plugs in with just a cord. The 110, it's 110, of course, 110 volts, and all the electrics are in here. And then you can what you do is plug it up, let the glue gun heat up, and it holds the heat for several minutes, and you can just detach it with no strings attached.
Okay, so it's not battery powered, but it warms up on the base, and then you go use it, and then put it back on the base to keep it warm. Basically.
Right, and I don't know a whole lot about hot glue guns, but I mean, I have a few. They're all kind of the garden variety, but this one has a much more precise tip on it that lets you dispense much smaller amounts of glue and much more neatly than the others.
Yeah.
So I think that may definitely be a plus on, excuse me, like putting in interiors and working on body stuff, odds and ends.
Or even I use a glue gun extensively in sealing my mold boxes. That would be great because it would just put a nice thin bead of glue. That looks cool.
It came from Lowe's, and it's called Super Bonder. It's just a brand they have several other glue guns too, but this I'd never seen one like this, particularly with this tip. And you use this switch. This is a switch to
what is the
turn
switch
it on
do?
and off.
Oh, okay.
You turn it on and off here while it's plugged in.
Have you tried using it? Like, how long will it stay hot, John? Do you know?
I didn't test it to see how long it would stay hot, but it does. I mean, it stays hot for a little while. Probably 5 minutes or so. Then you poke it back on there, and within a couple of minutes, it's ready to go again. And I think it operates at about 350 to 400 degrees, something like that. So it's pretty hot. It's hot, pretty good. It seems to be. So,
what did it run you, John?
it's $20.
Oh, jeez.
Oh yeah, but that Michael, that's real money though.
Yeah.
Yeah. It has this little stand that's kind of neat. The gun itself, the gun itself has some appendages and things that make it more convenient to lie down, to just lay it down when you need to, and makes it less likely to burn you or burn something else. And it has this little stand that holds it very well. And the piece here has this is a non-stick. The glue won't stick to this.
So that's like a drip catcher.
Yeah.
Ah, that's cool.
And it folds up.
Yeah, it's kind of a pain to have the drip stick to your desk.
Yeah. Or your fingers or whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's a pain to have to pick them up.
Well, you're among fellow modelers and nerds when you get excited about things like this.
Yeah, I think you're right.
For sure.
That's all I have.
All right. Thanks for sharing that cool find. Jeremy, what's up?
Sure. Some guys from New Zealand reached out to me to build them a tire cleaner. And so for $60, I've decided to give them a 9-volt little charge. But they're willing to pay it, so I'm fine with that. No, I kid, of course. All right. So when we were talking about Pioneer models last week, and one of the things when you run Pioneers competitively, your rear bumper, I don't know if you can see it, but mine's glued together right now. You probably can't see it. It's because I'm driving, somebody hits me and snap. That thing breaks every time, and you have to buy them for like $6 to replace them. I gave up. I'm tired of it. So I'm printing new ones out of TPU.
Yeah, nice.
I give up. I'm done buying them. So no more. You can bend them, flex them. You could probably chew them like bubble gum if you really wanted to.
That's
And
awesome.
then I made one of green, but then I made some black ones too. Just what I did differently though from the official Pioneer ones were when you put a Pioneer one on, it doesn't sit quite level. It's like up a little high. So I made mine. You can either set it the same way they have, or you flip it over so it's down a little lower. And then I made it the same weight. So it's not quite as pretty, but you'll never have to buy another one in your life.
So have you tried it racing yet, Jeremy?
No, we have a race next week. I'll give it a try, but there's no way I could break. I mean, it doesn't literally like you can twist it in a knot and it goes right back to where it was.
May I make a suggestion that you make one for everyone in your club, or they'll ban it?
Yeah, this is true. So that's what I've been working on to get those out there. I just thought it was almost a no-brainer. I don't know why Pioneer doesn't do it, but their replacements are made out of that hardened plastic, and it just snaps first time somebody hits you. It was driving me nuts. So.
That is so awesome because one of the guys at the club was actually asking me if I could design and print those because he's got his broken as well. And I was going to sit down and start doing it, but hey, now I'll just send them to you.
Send them to me. I just got to figure.
Like, Greg, you did design this. Tell him that.
No, that's not me. I don't play that game. Whatever game that is. That's awesome. Yeah. Are you going to put that on Jaded Parts or?
Yeah, I've got it up on the site right now. I don't have a stick. I don't have it ready to go yet, or I don't have them on my shop yet, but I figure I'm going to try to give like 4 for the same price of a Pioneer one. I don't want to.
Sure. Awesome.
You know, I want to make sure people have a value. But once you buy it, you should never have to replace it again.
Right? I mean, you should charge $20 for 2 of them.
It just seems, but the problem is I'm limited to colors. There's no metallic TPU that you can.
That's true. I mean, most of the ones that I have are black anyways.
Black, blue, green. Yeah. I mean, you could spray paint if you're really bored, but who's that bored?
Yeah.
That awesome. Was it for me. Yeah.
Good stuff. All right. And Don, did you have something else?
Yeah, I just wanted to give you an update. There is no lights on that car.
Ah, dang it. Too realistic.
Yeah.
All right, Marco, what you want to share?
I just want to ask Jeremy to send me a 1/5 of it so I can sell it.
He wants to be a reseller for Jaded Parts.
I'll message you on Facebook if you're serious.
I am.
Oh, okay.
Serious.
He'll take 100. He'll take 100 right now.
All right. Anybody else got any show and tell? Mike?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I have 2 things. First off, this beauty arrived yesterday. Just absolutely gorgeous. Just love it. It's got the standard Scale Auto Pro chassis in that. And its compatriot, Porsche, just broke the lap record Monday on my track. So it's a good runner as well as a good looker. And I love this livery. It's really nice. Although next year they're supposedly going to Cadillac, so probably they'll have to come out with a gold Cadillac then, because they're using the same sponsors.
Yeah.
So that, and I got one of these just because I wanted to find out what they were like. And wow, it's value for money for $32. It's amazing. It's a similar chassis to their Subaru and BRZ or GR86 one. And I think these are great cars, and the quality is excellent. The finish is superb, and the detail, I think they just pulled the body off of their Maserati GT4 that they've got and use that. It looks pretty robust, and I'm pretty happy with that. Be a good ghost car for me.
Yeah. Brightly colored too. Easy.
Yes. But it is red. I'm sure there'll be other. Well, they do have a black one too, but black is not visible.
No.
And They run into the ghost cars enough as it is. We don't need to make it any worse. Oh,
mean,
I
I'm
didn't
sure
see
they'll
it. It
do-
was a stealth ghost car.
I'm sure they'll do all the same colors they did for the BRZ, basically just, one of every typical lane color.
Yeah, the finish on them is really superb. I was impressed, and the quality of the body and stuff is excellent. Spoiler seems a little bit more robust than the original, but the rest of it seems to be the same body.
Nice.
So, and it's a fairly light car. It's got the magnet pocket in. I took the magnet out already, but
Yeah.
I'll put it back in to make it a ghost car. I just wanted to, and it runs fairly decently. It's a little, as are the Maseratis. They tend to be a little tail happy, because they're pretty long and wide. But it's lighter, I think, than the slotted one, or it is slotted one. So, but really, really good value. I can't see how they can put that in there for $32. I mean, it's at least as good as anything that Scalextric's got, and they're twice the price now. So it's just crazy. So kudos to Slot It for that. It's an excellent car.
Yeah, of all the people I've seen talk about them after having gotten them in hand, pretty much everybody is quite happy with them.
Yeah.
Especially for the value.
Yeah.
Alrighty, good stuff. Mr. Weber, do you got something else?
Yeah, sorry, I forgot.
That's okay.
I was out making a couple of pictures of some construction that's going on in the neighborhood, and right across the street from the construction site. And this is, I don't know, maybe a quarter of a mile or a third of a mile away from my home here. And this fellow has a Legend car.
Mm-hmm.
And this is it's a 55-gallon drum. So you get an idea of what size they are. They're really small. And something else, we were talking about what are the aspects of the formula, and apparently they run standard BF Goodrich, I guess TA radials, street tires on them. At least I don't think they run racing tires per se. So I have some other, let's see here. There's some better pictures. I had to take them through the chain link because there was nobody there at the moment. And I'll go back and revisit, maybe get some better pictures. But you can see.
That guy needs a new bumper. Leave my card for him.
Oh, okay. Will do. Yeah, it's pretty neat. BFG Comp TAs. I think they're really neat. And
it looks like a front engine single seater with fenders.
It is. Yep. It's almost like really the size of a probably not a quarter midget, but a midget car. And they have a Yamaha 1100cc 4-cylinder motorcycle engine, which is mounted transversely in the motorcycle, but in this application they put it in front to rear longitudinally. And they're dual overhead cams. They have a lot of power, and they're robust, fairly robust. I think they last pretty well, even in this kind of application.
So basically, it's an inline.
Yes. Yep. And I think they use the standard motorcycle transmission too. I don't know how they get the drive to the rear wheels, but they are rear wheel drive. And I don't know how they get the drive to the rear wheels, but I think they use the motorcycle transmission. So they have almost a sequential shift transmission, 6-speed, pretty sure. Anyway, pretty neat things.
We run a similar class in Australia. It's called Aussie Racing Cars, but they run with Camaro and Mustang replica bodies on. They run the FJ 1200 Yamaha motor in them. Drive to the
Okay.
back wheels. I think they use a Toyota Celica rear axle. I think, and there's an electric motor for reverse, because all Australian race cars have got to have reverse gear on them.
Interesting. That is
They
interesting.
get pretty wild. They run them at Bathurst on the Mount Panorama circuit. So
Wow.
Someone's just brought another big heap of original legends into Australia for sale. So it looks like the NA35, the original legends class here as well.
Yeah, that's under the AASA sanctioning that rather than Motorsport Australia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
888 Engineering just recently got a contract to supply all the Aussie racing car chassis.
Oh yeah.
This is the video that Jeremy just shared in the chat.
Cool. I haven't seen that video. I try to watch all those J videos, but there's so many of them.
I only know about because I watched that when I was first getting my legend car. I pulled this video up, but like it's one of the cheapest ways to actually get into larger racing.
Right. Yeah, they're racing on the track at Charlotte, competing. So
that lap shot with them all wrecking like it is on the racetrack here at home.
There's your draw shaft at the back there.
Yeah, the universal joint is almost as big as the motor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Take a few minutes and watch that video later.
Yeah.
Just Google Aussie racing cars if you want to see some Aussie racing, because those guys go nuts. They're full wide into corners and all sorts of things.
That's only because it's Aussie rules, right?
Yeah, that's it, mate. No padding, mate, no helmets.
Sticker price is $85 on a new one.
You pay the price for it with a concussion later on, though. Concussion problems and buggered knees.
Wonder why they haven't used a Hayabusa motor yet. That seems to be the hot rod in the larger displacement motorcycle engines. But
I think because they're trying to keep everything balanced. So stick with the cheapest way to do that.
Yeah, could be. Yeah. Good point.
Alrighty, any other show and tells? Okay, any club corner? Time to talk about racing. Go ahead, Mike.
Racing.
Let's see, I think I've got stuff to share. If I can figure this out again. They changed it again, so it's I'm gonna keep punching it. Well, I'd like to punch the thing. The other format they had was much easier to figure. Oh, there it is. I hope. Come on. Okay. Now, God, you can't really see it all that well. The second one I took directly off the computer, but we had two races this week. One, I did oxygen races, and we did the hypercars. And yes, I know the Acura is not a hypercar, Jim, but it's in the same class group for my purposes. And so I had I had the Cadillac and the Porsche and the Acura, the three of them, and we experienced the lap issue that they've been having, the missing lap issue where they're short. And it was interesting to watch. I won by about 13 laps, which I know I didn't have that much advantage. I had maybe 2 to 3 laps advantage. It's hard to tell. But the interesting part of it is that I noticed that I started paying attention once I saw that we had gotten those. I paid attention to when they happened and where. And I could see that it was almost exactly when they crossed the lane changer. And it would like be one position, like 1.8 seconds, and then it would be the next lane changer position would be, you know, another couple 3 seconds afterwards. You know, you could see varying lap times depending upon whether it hit the lane changer. And one of them, when Ratby was qualifying, he had a very low lap time that was, you know, close to a full second and a half faster than we had done before. And there's a lane change just before the start finish. So it's like, yeah, it looks like that's what's going on. Anyway, we had a good race anyway. I got the ghost car to work for both races. And of course, the ghost car had no problem with the lane change. I mean, with the short laps. There was nothing going on there. It's got a B chip, but doesn't make any difference. But there are both B and C chips in those 3 cars. So it isn't restricted to the chip. Although I was using 17A firmware for the chips, which I realized after you mentioned looking at which firmware was in there, I should probably go back to the ones that are not beta rather than using the beta ones that are odd numbered. So yeah. I'm going to try and go back to that and see what happens. But regardless of that, in the second race, where's the next one? There we go. There you can see it a little better. You can see that there were no short laps in that one at all. And they're all B chips in that one. And it was just odd, you know, to have it completely be okay. Everything was okay. And that race was run, everything worked fine with no problem at all. So I don't know what's going on, but the only thing I can think of is that the cars are a little bit faster. You can see on this one, we're doing 7.3 second laps, whereas we're doing 7.1. Well, actually, I the lap record at 7.010 with the Porsche, and the Porsche was the one that seemed to be the most profligate as far as the number of short laps that it had. So I don't know. It could be I don't know what the newness is of the ribbon type sensor. You know, whether that's the possibility. I'll probably order new sensors for the C chip for sure. But the sensors on the other ones, there should be no reason for it doing that. So anyway, it's always weird from there. Other question I've got.
Technically slotted haven't even figured out what's going on, right?
Yeah.
There's been all kinds of theories and, you know, tests, and it's like, well, you know, it happens more with this, or no, it doesn't, or, you know, we think it's this, but no, it's not, and we think it's that, but no, it's not, and
yeah.
One of these days, somebody's gonna figure it out, and everybody's gonna be going like, "Oh my God, I can't believe we didn't figure that out."
Yeah. Well, my experience in automotive tells me that proximity of the Hall sensor to the magnet would make a difference, because I know you can get screwy signals in car computers for signals for the cars if you don't have the adjustment correct on that. So, you know, it could be it's just closer or further away on those particular cars because of the way they're set up. But in the Acura, it's set in the position that Slotted puts in the chassis. You know, there's a little pocket for the sensor there. So who knows? Anyway, both of the guys are really enthused about the use of the controllers in that on the platform. So I'm going to keep it up. But I'm going to have to use, for my Formula One cars and stuff like that, I can't put an oxygen chip in it. They're too small. So I'm going to have to use SSD for that. And I'm probably next week going to use SSD so that I can find out if my fix is actually a fix or if it's not. Yeah. And we'll see what happens with that. But we had a really, really good race. The second race was actually pretty close. I had I think I showed you guys the Scale Auto Acura NSX that I had last week, the black and yellow one. And it was definitely not up to par. And I had a fight tooth and nail and didn't quite make it, but it was a good race nonetheless. So it was good fun. So we had a good time. That's all I got.
Alrighty. I'll just do a quickie. We started the Pioneer Legends series with my analog club, and they're Pioneer Legends. they're open wheelers, so you gotta drive them like they're F1 cars, because as soon as tires touch, somebody's gonna go flying. We run them stock with no magnets, stock tires, trued and glued, and treated to try to get some extra grip out of them for sport tracks that we race on. And I don't know what was going on. Some people had real traction problems. Most of us started out okay traction, and then they kind of fell off, towards the end of the night, because we aren't allowed to clean our tires after the beginning of the racing. So I'm open to suggestion on tire treatments for Pioneer tires specifically, because we usually use the Scale Auto tire cleaner, which is basically the lighter fluid type cleaner, which does it does a good job. It just doesn't last very long. And I know that the Pioneer tires are his own special concoction of rubber and urethane or something like that. So maybe there's something out there that works better and lasts longer. I mean, I don't necessarily need it to be grippier once it's been cleaned, but I want it to stay grippier longer. Right? So even if the initial clean isn't as much grip as the Scale Auto tire cleaner, if it maintains a slightly lower level of grip for longer, then that would be better.
That's on your plastic track, is that right?
That's on Scalextric Sport tracks, yeah. Unpainted.
If you watched Marco's last episode, the store Great Traditions, they do a lot of racing with silicone. This might be a good chance for you to switch to silicone and experience it. See how it goes.
These guys will never switch to silicone.
Well, you said that about 8 tracks and DVDs. Here we are.
No, these guys are about as
future is now, Greg. Do it
as it gets. No, I'm not even gonna bother wasting my breath on that one. It'd be more likely that they would allow change to some other brand of rubber than silicone. Anywho, we had fun racing. I think I got second behind Eric, the fast guy, so that's always nice. Crash and burn, so it's as much about not crashing as anything else. So sometimes you just let the guy go ahead. Oh, and one funny incident. I thought it was funny anyways. So a race was about to start, or a heat was about to start, and one guy's car kind of went around for a lap, and then it stopped dead. And we're like, okay, what's going on? And, did his controller, is his controller hooked up wrong or whatever? And we're like looking for fuses and looking for, broken wires and just all of the normal stuff that you look for, and trying to figure out why that lane is dead, checking his car, checking other lanes, checking other controllers in his lane, but everything, right? Until someone realized, well, the car is working okay over there, but then when it comes around here, it's dead. And then somebody finally realized, well, maybe there's a screw in the slot somewhere.
Oh.
Lo and behold, hey, one of his screws dropped out of his chassis into the slot, and then it's don't touch the super hot screw, because it's been sucking up power every time somebody pulls the trigger. And of course we have a rule about if you run your screws loose, you got to do something to keep them from falling out. Shows you how good a rule is. Anyway, yeah, racing's racing. Had fun. I'm done. Lenny walked away, so we're gonna go with Luff. What you got, Luff?
Oh, finally got some keeners. Took me a couple of years, but I got 5 guys now that we race every Thursday night.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's all, I'm back to racing.
Yay. You gonna start posting racing videos again?
Sorry?
You gonna start posting slot car racing videos again?
Yeah. Well, we got more guys that want to try it out, but there's a whole bunch of them that want a drag strip. So we're talking about setting up a drag strip too.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm back.
Yay, Luff's back.
Well, we're only doing 4-lap races right now because that's as much as they can stay on the track.
That's at your latest track that you built recently?
Sorry?
Is that at your latest track you're doing that in your home?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll get better. Well,
Anyway,
good
that's
news. All right, thank you, sir. Go ahead, Lenny.
Okay. Sorry for nicking off for a second. My great hunting cat was making a fuss out in the kitchen and has actually brought a moth in. So. There we go. Okay, so first of all, I just want to say hello to the missus. She's watching up in Port Augusta today. So hello, Heather. So we had a round 9 of our point score series on Tuesday night, and we had 9 of the regulars and 1 visitor come along. So it was good to see Max again. So we had 3 classes. We had Revo Slot, GT and sports cars. So we throw in the GD2s and the LMPs and the GD1s all together. And then we also classic sports and GT cars. So that's anything from 65 up to the beginning of the Group C period. Was it 80, 81? And then LMPs. And LMPs cover the period after Group C finished up to the modern day. So that was our 3 classes for the night. First up, we had the Revo Slot GD2s. Oh, it says GD2 on there, but LMPs and GD2s. Then Jeff took that one out with a close run thing between he and Steve for second place. At one stage, Jeff got into the groove on Green Lane, I think it was, the fastest lane on the track. And we kept hearing new lap record. So he was trimming the lap record down by 1,000ths of a second each lap for about 10 laps. So that got a bit boring after a while, some of the guys said. But anyway, so well done to Jeff. Steve in second, and I managed to scrape in the third, just ahead of young Andrew. There wasn't much in that, 0.01 or something like that. And then Ian in 5th. Jason had a bit of a fraught run. He's got a really quick car in that class, and he had a bit of trouble with that one, keeping it on the track. Then Callum, Andrew, Norm, and Max. Max doesn't come very often, so he was struggling a bit on the night. And there's the podium. So there's Jeff's GD1 Toyota, Steve's GD1 Toyota, and my Ferrari 333 SP. And then we ran the classic sports and touring cars, and Jeff had another win. Another close run finish with just under a lap. It was Jeff in first place from young Andrew again. He managed to pick up a spot there, and Steve in third. So Jeff and Steve had a really good night, followed by Norm, Ian, Jason, Callum, Max, then me, and Andrew. I had a bit of a fraught race in that one. I ran a car that's probably way past its use by date, and it's not running very well anymore. So that one's going into the retirement drawer. And there's the podium for that. So I got the order around the wrong way this time. So there's first place, Jeff's Layla from Andrew's Polycar Ferrari P3, and Steve's Porsche 9083. So he's got that thing going really well. That thing of Jeff's, it's quick as well. He's the master of getting BRM G25s going. He'll spend an hour just getting them all polished up. And then we ran the LMPs, and young Andrew came up for a win there. So normal conditions restored for that one. And then Jeff, another good night for Jeff. He got second, 4 laps down. Then Steve, another podium for him. Then Jason and myself, Ian, Callum, Max, Andrew, and Norm. Norm had a bit of a rough night. Whatever he was running, I can't remember. No, he ran a couple of cars, but neither of them were very good. So yeah, so that was a bit of a rough night for him. So there's the podium. So there's Andrew's Porsche 98 GT1 with Jeff's. Jeff normally struggles with LMP, but he's got this thing going really well. And there's Steve with his Lola, whatever it is, slot at Lola B something or other. He's got that percolating really well. He's been working on that for a few months. He's got it going rather well. Given up on his Audi R8 that he had. So yeah, so it was a good night. Andrew's pretty well got it sewn up. He can't quite not turn up next round. He's got to do at least one race next round, then he can sit the rest of the night out. Jeff moved up the order. He was 4th. He got past me, and he's I forgot to put a points table in. Anyway, it doesn't matter. And Jason is in 2nd, but he's under threat from Jeff at the moment. So that's going to be an interesting finish to the series, at least for the minor podium positions. So that's it for me on Club Corner. So I'll get it your way. And thanks for listening.
All righty. Thanks for sharing. Go ahead, Mr. Rose.
We had our monthly race at Fast Track Hobbies last Sunday. We typically race there the last Sunday of the month. And we run the same classes there pretty much all the time. We ran Revo slots there a couple times earlier in the year when we were getting ready for the big Revo slot race at Motown. But for the most part, we run those 4 classes. We started with Group C in Formula One and then added these 2 in the not last few months, but later on. So Group C in Formula One is kind of where we started at the commercial tracks, both at Motown and Fast Track. So that's kind of the backbone of the class. We had kind of a light turnout. We had 8 cars in Group C, and we do qualify there. And because we had 8 in Group C and not in the others, a couple people didn't run the other classes. So in Group C, we ran all 6 lanes, and the qualifying for Group C set the grids for the rest of the day for all the classes. So we separated it. The other classes, because we didn't have, I think we had 6 in the other classes, we ran the center 4 lanes only, but we ran 4.5 minutes. So you get the same amount of, bang for your buck, so to speak. You still get an 18-minute race, but it's 4.5 minutes per lane instead of 3. Qualifying, I put my car on kill, and it worked really good. Justin was there. I knew he was going to be fast. Ted's fast. And so I did a few little tweaks to my Jaguar, and it worked great with a new lap record. So at the end of the day, it was the Nissans following the Jaguar. So that worked out well for me. That Jaguar, ever since I got it, ran at Electric Dreams on the podium at the Nationals. It's been just absolutely the best Group C car I've ever run. I forgot to get a shot of the Formula One grid, but here's the podium. Ted got the win. Sean and Larry, they're semi-HO racers, kind of newcomers to 32nd scale in the last year or so, and they're getting better and better. GT3, starting to see a little bit of a trend. I loaned Bruce Douglas, a newcomer to 32nd scale, but one of our local HO racers decided to come over. And so I loaned him my Aston Martin, which ran really good. I ran the Corvette, the C8 Corvette. On the big tracks, it's been the best car I've ever run. It tracks well, it drives straight, it comes off the corners hard with very little wiggle on the rear end. It just puts the power down very nicely. Didn't get the win. I had a couple problems, mainly driver induced and lost by a lap. And Ted got the win in his Ford GT, which is also a really, really good car for that class. Group 5, you can see the trend. It's pretty much all BMW, or not all BMWs. The Lancia in the back is a real handful on these tracks because it's so short. A friend of mine, Ken Jones, built this Willie T. Ribbs tribute Toyota Celica, which is awesome looking car. You know, the Toyota is a really good Group 5 car also in terms of the way it runs. And he did the Willie T. Ribs tribute livery, so it looks really good. I did get the win in that class with my orange limited edition bubble version BMW M1, which Racer Sideways did not bring these into the United States, as far as I know, in the colors. The blue one has always been available, but they have them in 6 or 8 different colors: orange, yellow, pink, black, red, purple. So they're the same livery, but in different colors. But they're theoretically they're fantasy liveries. And I broke the wing on it, so I took a wing off the BASF red card and put it on it, so I can still run that body. I'm eventually going to get a separate wing and just paint it black and maybe do some black around the front of that to make it match, and then put the BASF wing back on the BASF car. So that was our last race of the year at Fast Tracks, because they're primarily a hobby shop. They have 3, it's a huge slot car track. They have 3 big tracks, but they're primarily a hobby shop in terms of revenue, I think, in dollar volume. So, and we typically run the last Sunday of the month. So because of that, not real practical to run there in November or December. So we will continue back with Fast Tracks the first of the year.
Cool. All righty, anybody else? Otherwise, we're opening the floor up. Whatever you got.
I got something. I've been trying to set up RCSO2, and I can't. And trying to set up the different races. You know, you set up my own race. I've been running practice fuel for the races and just filling in the blanks. And every time I try to make up my own race, you know, with the practice qualifying and the race, I get a signal that says the power is invalid, and I forgot what it was. I gotta go look. At any rate, and I go to the both the power and the what is it? I'll have to go look. But at any rate, I can't get those to set my own race up. And I just wondered what the hell it was. Did you do anything more than practice fuel, or how does Gio set his up?
I was gonna say, so this is when you basically activate the practice and qualifying and race, so that you're basically doing one after the other. Yeah, I never did that. I don't know, Gio, do you do that, or you just go straight to racer?
No, I mean, I do manually, so I click practice and the other 2 are disabled. Then unclick practice, click qualify, and then I don't want to do the full session. But for what I understand, it's trying to create a new event, basically.
Yeah.
Like with different settings. It's getting trouble with so I've done multiple times and I never got that kind of issue. It'd be nice to have maybe a screenshot of that.
Yeah, I think he's gonna make the error come up.
Can you maybe pin him in case? Because in 1 minute I have a meeting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we can see you in your consultant's clothing today.
Oh, dressed
Yeah.
up.
Really.
Yeah. I mean,
it says wear profile not valid, despite the fact that I'm not using tires, and power profile not valid. If I try to set up a race.
Can you show us?
Yeah, go ahead and hold up your screen.
Yeah.
Hang on. Well, it's flashing, so it's tough to see. But
the red error message there.
Yeah, the red error message.
So the error message usually comes up when you don't have any controllers connected, because it says you cannot start any sessions. if you don't have a controllers or
Yeah.
dongle. So that's
Well,
stuff about the.
Okay. So you have to set the races up with the controllers activated?
You need a dongle, of course.
Yeah, I got the dongle in.
Yeah.
So if I set up yeah, I've got a controller on and it's still
Probably have to have a car on the track.
if I go to the because it said the power is invalid.
I mean, it could just be a bug, obviously, but I
Yeah.
think what Gino was saying is your best bet is to go ahead and turn, at least 2 controllers on, put 2 cars on a powered track so that the communication is happening, and
Okay.
then see if it'll work.
The other thing is also like in like all the settings that you have on the left hand side, right? So where you set up, for instance, the fuel about, they should be power and tire profiles. Are you sure that those are selected? Because it might be the case that when you click new event, whatever, they go to some kind of a strange buggy default that doesn't mean anything. I will not be surprised.
Yeah, like it reverts to some default that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you do assign car to a team, basically give some kind of a random number that doesn't mean anything. You can only do it the other way around. From teams, you can select the car.
Yeah. So you think there's something when I go into selected teams that it's not turned on?
No. So
that's a whole separate problem.
As an example. So in those settings that you have done there, you should have a drop-down menu for the tire profiles and the power profiles. So click on those and select something.
Yeah, I tried that. I moved them around and it made no difference whatsoever to what happened. It still kept that flashing. What they have is they have max power, damage impact, and track condition effect. And I have no effect. And then damage, I have medium impact.
But you are, so at the moment you are in the power tab, right?
Right.
I want you to go where there is the event stuff, where you have a practice, qualify, and the race. On the left-hand side, you have a lot of left-hand side at the kind of lower part. You should have a lot of settings. So they should be there 2 tabs, 2 drop-down menus, one for the power profile and the other one for, actually should be power profile and tire profile.
Oh, okay. I see. That's where it is. So if I put in RCS 64 for the, got it. That's it. What do you usually run it?
I'm leaving you now.
Okay, see you, Gio. Thanks for helping Mike. So does that give you some pointers onto maybe some other things?
That's what did it. There wasn't anything in those particular pieces that was there. So it went away. So fixed.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yay.
glad I asked.
Too bad he had to leave.
Yeah.
But good that he was able to hang around and answer that question for you.
Yeah.
All right, I guess it's a boring show today.
Oh.
Nobody's got anything.
I've got, everybody loves the stock cars. I'm converting all of my stock cars to the slotted chassis.
Oh, the HS2. HRS2.
HRS2.
Hey,
yeah.
what are you doing with the old chassis? I know.
Well,
I may need those.
I haven't taken them out. Why do you need them?
I might. I got some of the weird Carrera chassis that have a regular guide, and then I have ones with the Carrera weird guide. So I'd like to get them all the same for a proxy.
Mine have been changed. The guides have been changed.
Never mind.
So
thank you anyway.
Yep. So it's not good for that. I got rid of those and put one of the 3D printed round pieces in from Stock Car Corner, and put a regular guide in them. So unless you want to go back.
No, I have no interest in polishing a turd. I just like to race Carreras the way they are.
Okay.
I've
been polishing these turds for a while. Anyway, I'm going to try and do at least 3 or 4 of them with the HRS2 chassis and see how much difference it makes going around. Because the Carrera chassis, well, it's first off, they never fit properly on any of the stock cars. They're always, you have to ream out the holes to get any body float, even if you use screws that have been turned to clean them up a bit. The chassis don't fit where the body is supposed to go. I mean, they're just, sometimes they're stretched, sometimes they're too long, sometimes they're too short. You know, it's all over the place for each one is different. So I figured I'd try to minimize that and come up with a methodology to mount them and see if it makes it any better or more fun. But I really like the cars, so. And Shiggy is all about the stock cars. He loves them. I don't know why, but different strokes, I guess. Anyway,
I got a little show and tell preview kind of thing. This is not my MR slot card that my friend did, but the same friend is doing a BRM Porsche 911 Evo for me in that same kind of livery. This is this is being done so that I can race it at Allen's at the sprint races he's having for the 24-hour race, doing 3 different.
That 24th scale.
That is the 24th scale BRM 11. Yep. So he's running 3 sprint races. He's doing this basically that class, and also the Group 2 BRM 124th cars and GT Revo slot, and then that's like the 2 days before the 24-hour race. He's running those support races with basically everybody who's there who wants to race those races. That's what I'm going to do because it's not 24 hours. And then the 24 hours starts on Saturday and goes to Sunday. That's happening in a couple weeks. So that's it for that from me. And stop the share. There we go. And Dewan put his hand up. You awake, Dewan?
Yeah.
What you want to share or ask or tell or whatever?
Okay, venturing into new uncharted territories, my situation anyway. I'm going to be a tick mark in the NSR race coming up at Lucky Dreams, and decided to go out on a limb and purchase one of the white chassis to go with mine. I'm gonna switch out. I have they're all musclers. I have the black chassis, and it's not very level. And
your background's messing that up, but we understand that. We understand what a not flat chassis looks like. Oh, you got the NSR flattener. Alrighty.
So I just unwrapped this NSR flattener that I've had for 2 years. To put it to use for the very first time. And so looking for, well, let me ask this to not waste a lot of our time here, but is there a tutorial on the basic process of going through this for the specific? Because I know the different chassis have different hardnesses, so obviously the amount of time you put on the that you do it for is going to be different. And I don't see anything really cross-references what I should be doing. And I know that that's my question.
Wow.
I got nothing.
I think there
It
should
worked
be. I
fine.
mean, NSR should be.
I used one a long time ago, and it worked fine on NSR chassis.
Yes. That's what
I
I'm
didn't have much luck using it with other brands, but that's not what you're
Right.
doing. So, as I recall, I was leaving it on automatic for about a half an hour.
It didn't matter which hardness chassis you were using.
I didn't hear you.
It did not matter which chassis you were using because of the different chassis had different hardnesses. So obviously, the amount
I
of
was
time
typically using an NSR white chassis, but I know they've changed them. We've seen some NSR chassis that are almost light gray that are advertised as white. So I don't know, maybe Marco knows the formulation change in the plastic, but the ones that I had seemed to work good at about a half an hour.
Don't push that on me, please.
I mean, honestly, NSR should have at least provided guidance for their own chassis for crying out loud.
The man's gonna be here in a couple of weeks. Just bring all the
That's too
chassis.
late. That's too late.
Yeah, no, it's
Gonna
not.
flatten it right there before the
Bring
race.
flattener, bring the chassis. Jim, bring a couple of chassis that you have. Great, the black one. That's the guy. By the way, Jim,
Start at 20 minutes. You can't go wrong with 20 minutes on automatic. If it doesn't flatten it, or if it flattens it, if it doesn't stay, try 30 minutes. Do it again.
By the way, Jim, I still don't have a registration for the race. Just saying.
What?
Were you talking to me?
Yeah, I am. And Jerry too. Stop pointing to the camera, Jerry. I don't have yours too.
I would really like to come, but I don't think I can.
Come on.
I've got some reasons why I want to come, and I think you know.
We're gonna have Paul Goralski here. We're gonna have Andrea here. We're gonna have Ian and Doug from England commentating.
That would be worth the price of admission. Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna have Duwan. We're gonna have Danny Sanson here. I'm trying to bring Howie Ursaner. So
I heard a rumor that there might be some other NSR factory drivers coming, but I'm not sure if that's true or not.
Yeah, we still work on that. The guy who is the Budris, the guy who is the world champion on the second scale on the Israel over there.
Sorry to interrupt, Marco, but I don't know. Does everyone know who Howie Ursaner is?
Maybe not, but
yeah. See, I do. I mean, come on, you guys don't. He was like,
who knows?
He was like the Jim Clark of slot car racing in the '60s. He was like. He was hot. He was on he won a car that he never collected. They never gave him the car, I believe. There's like.
Well, he was too young. The problem was he didn't even have a driver's license at the time.
Who are we talking about?
Howie
Ursaner.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we try. It's not confirmed. Paul Goralski is confirmed. He's coming.
Yeah, he's easy to beat.
Come on, let's see this registration going on, Jim. We need you here, man.
Your flyer did not mention you were having Dewan Clark. You might want to lead with that next time.
With a super flat chassis, by the way.
Yeah, I haven't got my appearance money, so I'm not showing up.
Oh, okay.
You're being paid to not show up.
Your rider was way too demanding, is what it was.
And Jerry,
by the way, we have a new racer at Modesto out of the kids program. I forget what he calls it, but it's a program for new racers, primarily kids, and his name is Ryder.
Ryder. Yep.
And his brother's name is Track. Oh, sorry, no, but seriously, brand new, really nice young man, getting pretty good, and his name is Ryder.
Everybody calls him every time on the track.
Yeah, when they call Ryder, he says what? But
they call him 20 times every race, so he's very popular now.
But he's an up and comer at Motown, and you know what the up and comers did? The Braden did pretty good at the Nationals. So.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, but anyway, Jim, we're waiting for registration. We have 37 now, and I think we're gonna have around 45.
That's good.
Yeah.
But Dwan, I would try 30 minutes on that on the automatic setting on that, and it seemed to work good for me in the past.
Okay. All right.
And let it sit overnight. Obviously, I would. This may have been a one-time thing, so I don't want to say it's not going to work for everybody. I tried an NSR white chassis in water. Putting it on a plate and then putting it in water, putting it in a plate, pouring hot water over it. When I took it out, it was as soft as a rubber band. It was terrible. So I don't know if that was just a one-off or not, but it seemed like when I did it in water with an NSR plastic chassis, it introduced water to the chassis and made it way less stiff than it started.
That's entirely possible, depending on what kind of plastic they used. Yeah.
So like, I'm not saying that's the way it's going to work for everybody, but I had that experience the one time. I've never done it again. I used the NSR flattener, and it works well.
Only one thing about those cars, they're so easy to set up. It's so enjoyable to drive. There's a new kid called Brandon. I think it's Brandon or Brian, maybe Brian.
Brandon, his father is.
His father is Brian?
Mm-hmm.
So this kid put a car together. I think he asked Dennis to throw the tires for him. And he put the car together without the correct gear, without the correct guide. And I tried his car and I was 1/10 out of the record that Ian set last year. So those cars are within 10 laps. So it's very easy to set up. It's super enjoyable. They stick to the track. I think it's the best class of race.
That's part of the reason why you can't race them anywhere else anymore.
Yeah, they don't.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why they're exclusive for this race. So Jim, come on over.
I'll see what I can do. I'm not promising anything. It's doubtful right now, but I'll give it a shot.
I have 25 witnesses here. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Marco, did you talk about the Halloween Enduro tomorrow?
Yeah, we're gonna have the Halloween Enduro tomorrow. It's a fun race. I think I sent an email. Some of you guys got it here. It's a race that we're doing for the 4th year. It's kind of a race party. It's the fifth event, but the fourth year of the race. I realized on the very first one that people are coming in with a lot of kids who are just crashing and they couldn't see actually the slot car racing. So what I did is in the middle of the event, trick and treating, popcorn, TV, movies, and an inflatable screen out there, a lot of decoration. In the middle of this event, I put it like a professional race so people can see actually slot car racing. And it's an enduro. It's a team of 2. NSR provides the cars. They had this very special decoration for the car that they did with Halloween, all Halloween. 1 car per lane. Dennis helped me to put the lights on in the cars, and the cars have been there for like 3 years. And we race those. Those cars are each lane has their own car. So each racer, each team races 20 minutes, 10 minutes per racer. And the cars are to the track are defined by the lane, so they don't change. So everybody has to race all the lanes, all the cars. And it's fun because we have the pumpkin trophy, which is like this big gold pumpkin that if you win, you can have your face laser printed to the trophy. And the trophy stays at this start the whole year. And yeah, there you go. Thank you, Jim. And the cool thing is we black out the whole store, and we have a lot of smoke. There is a lot of smoke. You only see the lights and you barely see it. Jim, can you show some pictures since you have it there?
Well, Marco, how close are you to LA? If you don't need smoke, just open the door, let the smog roll in.
So we have the kids in the afternoon, have all decorations. This is, I think, is the 2nd or 3rd year, and people come dress up. This is just decoration.
That looks like Bob.
Yeah, and the kids come. This is Nico, Todd's son. 1 year we have a real DeLorean there. They actually invaded the race in the middle of the race. Nobody knew. It was a surprise. I stopped the track and the car just drove in. Mark, that works at the store. Yeah, Milky Man. Yeah, I think this is from the last year. So yeah, see there's a movie session going on outside. And then you have the drivers. That's one of the teams, Rick, Reed, and Mark. Brandon and Todd. And then Bob and Dan as I don't remember the name of the series, but yeah, you have a lot of new people. Some of these new people they come after, and then they start enjoying those car races. Those events, this one, the swap meet and the Christmas Enduro, I think we bring a lot of new people, and some of them keep coming and seeing slot car race.
Cool.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, anybody down there should definitely swing by. have some fun.
I have a few comments. So I'm not gonna go down to the race, Marco. I'm gonna be up in Tacoma running the 24 this year. That'll be my first 24. Looking forward to it. So we'll see how I do between 1:30 in the morning and 4:30 in the morning. So we'll see what my leg is gonna be. So I'm pretty excited about that. The team's taking about 5 guys. I think there's probably 6 guys. Greg, I don't know what. It's my first time, so I'm not sure what it's supposed to be.
You want to have at least 4 or 5 guys in your team if you can make it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't get much sleep.
Yeah, the bare minimum. I don't think he even allows teams to be 3 or less. Like,
well, I was in a team of 3 one time, and I was up there. But
did he let you do that?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to have somebody driving, and you got to have somebody marshaling,
and somebody sleeping, and that's
and
it.
somebody sleeping. So having 5 or 6 guys is definitely better.
Oh yeah. It's really tough if you're only 3.
We had the HO 24 hours, which is in Escondido, down by San Diego. And about 5 or 6 years ago, I went, and there just wasn't enough people. So there was one team that only had 2 people, and they ran the whole race.
Ooh,
wow!
Brutal.
Wasn't me. Definitely wasn't me.
Yeah. So at this point we have 5 guys solid. So
that's
I think
good.
we
5
should be pretty good. So, but yeah, we'll see how it goes. And I think we're gonna be running the GT40. I think it's the GT40. So I guess it's a new release for them. So we'll see how the 124 scale does. So it's my first time dipping in 124. So we'll see how.
Just make sure whoever builds the car uses plenty of Loctite on all those screws.
There you go. See, that's definitely a good.
Because I heard you got a new teammate too.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes there, Jim.
He's going to put a 50K motor in the car when people aren't looking.
Yeah, that's 2 of us will be awake watching him, so we'll see what he does.
Good luck.
Thanks to Mario.
Yeah, you're not going to get away with that at Allen's, that's for sure.
We have a guy that used to race with us at Sidewinder, the old track in Sacramento, and no matter what the class, he'd put a 50K motor in it. You couldn't turn a lap time with it, but he had to have the fastest motor. So
when somebody shows up to an Electric Dreams event like that, is there somebody there that will like get them the right tires, trued, and ready to go before they arrive? Like, I've always thought about stopping out, but I'm like, I have no idea. You guys are
well. We have Dennis that comes on Thursdays to help us with those cases, but the community is pretty tight. If you come down there with no car, pretty sure that there will be a couple of people who will help you out and point to the right direction. And at some point, somebody's going to be turning your tires and giving you. And also, the regulations are very strict. You need to use that kind of a gear, that kind of a guide, that kind of a tire. It's a number motor. So you have the parts. You don't have to expend a lot of time trying different things because those parts are the same as the one racing, the one leading. You just need to find a way to put together, and then those guys will be there to point you to the right direction, like pod movements, size tire, this kind of stuff, spaces on the guide, the height of the front wheels, and basically that's it because there's nothing else we can do. The body flow, this kind of stuff. You do learn when you go. If you stay one day there, I'm sure that you're going to learn the track and be up to speed on your car. Am I lying, Dennis? The one?
No, that's right.
Yeah,
and even if you were, I wouldn't say so on public forum like
yeah.
More than my job is worth.
There's plenty of people down there to help you. Trust me.
Oh yeah.
Lots of help.
Yeah.
I mean, you could even get.
I'm not showing up. I was just curious how that works for people from out of state.
You could even
get
fussy and say that Dennis doesn't do a good enough job for you, so get somebody else to do them.
We'll get you the NorCal setup, so you're very competitive.
Oh yeah, sure. Says the guy who haven't registered yet.
Only once this year.
Yeah.
Ian's always got plenty of backup cars.
There you go. See.
Yep. There'll be plenty of backup cars, I'm sure.
Yep. Yeah, and I was fortunate enough to receive a backup car that the Walt had. So there's a lot of help.
Are you thinking about coming to a specific race, or are you just thinking in general?
I was just thinking in general. I really liked the slot at nationals they had. I thought that'd be a fun event to attend. But
That's the best.
The
Just sign up early.
Yeah, the chances of me getting to LA are slim to none. I got to plan it ahead of time. So
just get in the plane and find out around there. We pick you up
on a moped.
We pick you up.
I can't drive my.
With
can
the
do the-
slotted, with
Yeah.
the slotted nationals, you know, we probably all have cars from last year and the year before and the year before that, and the cars themselves really don't change very much. You got to change out a motor because you get a handout motor, and you got to make sure that the tires are good. But other than that, a lot of guys keep those cars, and so we all have cars that we could loan out. I mean, I probably have 4 that I could loan out to anybody, and they would all be reasonably competitive straight away.
Yeah.
And where else can you get picked up at the airport? Shuttle service.
Yeah. If you showed up empty-handed, somebody would put a car and a controller in your hand for you to participate.
I was just thinking, like, for other people that are thinking about going, what
Well,
would
Greg
they
did
be
that. He
doing?
arrived one day and got roped into an endurance race, I seem to recall.
I wouldn't call that an endurance race, but it was a longer race than I normally race, that's for sure. 10-minute stints was more than enough for me.
It's a relatively easy track to learn. It's not super hard. You can get up to speed pretty quick. A couple little places that are a little trickier than others, but it's fairly easy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, me and Courtney will make the road trip sometime.
Do it.
Get out there.
On your moped, right?
Yeah, I'll take my moped. They do a moped cannonball run across America where you got to ride a.
Oi.
Sounds like you have to talk to Howie Ursiner about those kind of trips from back in the 60s. He and a couple of others will have a lot of stories about traveling across the country in beat up old cars, and
race cars.
Yeah.
Courtney, you just got volunteered for the slot at nationals.
Yeah, I heard, except Jeremy, can we do a moped sidecar so I don't have to ride behind you?
Have you ever seen the movie Dumb and Dumber? That's what we would look like.
That's
two,
us. That's
two
right.
chunky guys on a moped doing 20 miles an hour up the hill. Not good.
Yeah.
The only thing about the nationals, it's today we are at capacity. There is no place to have more people, not even to watch.
Yeah, I figure it's gotten
I have some
popular.
guests, and I sell badges for you to come and see it. And the reason that we sell the badges is just to limit people to come. So I don't have people around the track or even dogs going around the track. So this kind of stuff. So this year, I think it was at least 2 months in advance sold out. And I mean sold out. I have a couple of spaces in that I was saving for people who might become guests. But if you wanted to play, if you're planning to come, just plan well ahead, because it's not, this year is going to be overbooked for sure.
Sure.
Definitely sign up early.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to start. We're going to start to sign up in May during the UK festival.
Do you know what the date is yet? Will it be second week in August?
Second weekend. First weekend is the WES, the 24 hours in Igualada in Spain from Scale Auto. The second weekend we have the UK festival, and the third weekend we have the WRE, the NSR race in Italy, Naples.
Oh, that's May.
May, yeah, and then
Yeah,
the fourth weekend we have Monaco and Indianapolis. So.
And then the slotted nationals at
Oh,
Electric
first,
Dreams is the
always,
second week of August.
No, first. Always
First week of August.
Yeah, it's not on this. It used to be on the second, but gets around Car Week here in Carmel, so we don't, since we have to have some VIP guests to come to the race and see the race. I don't want to mix it up with that.
So
Plus,
first
I
week
have-
in August next year?
Yes, always.
Because we're starting to schedule our NorCal schedule too. So we definitely want to schedule
I
around
can
that.
I can send you in my 2025 schedule. It's ready.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate that.
I want to put in public what I can send you.
Did you say you lived in Carmel, Marco?
No.
Yeah, the
Or you
car
work-
week the car week in Carmel is pretty big to us, and because I have the opportunity to bring some guests for the podcast, And for the past 2 years, I missed a couple guys because they're busy there, and they're in California, and they usually land in LA. So that's why we moved, so I can have a couple guests more. I'm trying to get Bobby, Ray Hall, kind of guys who are between racing and collecting that always go to the Carmel.
What wasn't Clint Eastwood the mayor of Carmel at one stage? You might be able to get him.
Unfortunately, yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bring up politics, but
Marco, is there any new news about the Cunningham Corvette?
I saw your background. Pretty cool, John. Thank you. December. They're supposed to land here in November, and then we need to send to some other distributors around the globe. And once everybody has it, we can start to sell it. So I don't want to rush anybody. I don't want to beat sales on my retail store from anybody else. So I'm playing the fair game. So everybody needs to have it ready to sell, and then we're gonna have a release date. John, I want to invite you. I made an interview with Bruce Meyer, the guy who owns the Corvette #2, and he talks a lot about the Corvette. And he says that his #2 is actually #3, so the car that won. So it's pretty interesting what he tells me about the Corvette, and the car is gorgeous. We took a lot of pictures of details of the car, and yeah, it's. I want to invite you to watch that thing because the interview was pretty good. The guy is the coolest guy on earth. Not only because of his car collection, but the guy is just cool. Yeah, but that's it. They're supposed to land here in November, and we're gonna have the release date by December.
Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Any word on the slot at 510 pre-release?
Well,
is it still held up?
Yeah, it's mixed feelings there because Mauricio went for the full licensing with BRE and Nissan. And Nissan really messed it up. Nissan changed their offices for licensing. They didn't. So in Mauricio, of course, he got beat by BRM and Revo with their car that didn't went through licensing. So I think he's kind of trying to plan a better release for that, or have at least 2 cars. I don't know what's going on there. I can try to find out the release date. I think they already have, but we still don't have the car here with us. I think it's CA51A.
Okay. Not 50.
Not 51?
I don't think it's 50. Doesn't matter.
No matter. Fine. I will give the answer in 1 minute. Let me search here. It's gonna take a little bit more than a minute. You guys can go ahead.
In other news, 51A was the 512 Ferrari.
In other news, has anybody noticed like Shapeways is going away? Has anybody come in to take over that kind of area?
We're distributing the Oliver ones from Portugal, and there's another company very big called the National Racers, also from Portugal. I'm supposed to meet with the guy at the Forest Lot Madrid now in December, but I'm not going. So we're in talks to have selling their stuff here.
Cool.
Yeah, but
they're printing themselves now. They don't use a company like Shapeways and so on, right?
Oh, nice.
Yeah, even the Olifers that we have in stock, they never use a third party company. They print themselves. So there's a better quality right there.
Where's Wayne when you need him? Need to kill some airtime here.
I mean, you guys can wait out of here when I stop the live show. If you want, I can just go ahead and stop. If you don't want to talk about anything.
Wayne's on vacation in Paris, by the way.
That's true. He's gallivanting.
Yeah.
So by the way, we do have the CA59A in stock. It's not for sale yet. They haven't decided the release date, but we have the cars at the store.
That's the full livery, or is that a white kit?
No, that's the full livery Bob Sharp car, number 68.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have it, but they haven't decided release date. Still says Q4 2024.
Okay. Well, I have it on. I have it on pre-release with you guys. I was just hoping there was
It's a
something
pretty
going on.
car, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
It's a
Not that I've
510.
seen, not that I've seen them, but I've seen the prototype. The prototype looked really, really good.
That's
Yeah,
a 510.
Yeah.
Now, Marco, do you have National Racers some of their chassis at the store? I haven't
No,
looked yet.
we're still working on it. I might have by December.
Okay.
It's
Because
a
I was gonna
large.
put an order in for a few chassis that I need for some Ninko cars. So okay, I'll wait for the Porsche.
It's a large catalog, and
Yeah.
it's very tricky to buy because we kind of don't know what people are racing. Like you just told me, like Linko chassis. That's something that will not be
Yeah.
focused on it. So I don't know if I focus to the collectors, for the club racers, the race old stuff, or the new guys who want speed on the LMP cars and stuff like that. So it's very tricky to order. By the way, did you guys heard about the new DS dash scale auto controller?
Yeah, isn't that their? They had the DS1 they originally came out with. Is this the 4 or the 5th?
It's called PHN01. Let me do something here.
Well, I remember talking to those guys over at CrickCack, and they were going to release the DS Pro 4 version, I think it was, but that was during COVID, and nothing got going. So I assumed this was their version
Yeah,
they're releasing.
I tested the prototype a couple months ago when I was there at CrickCrack, and they're very excited about it. Like I placed an order just to try the waters, and Ivan came to me, "No, you need more, I said, "All right." So we're getting this in a couple weeks, and it's gonna be like a worldwide release. Jim, can you do me a favor? I don't know how to share my screen, and even I can't share my screen. I send you on Facebook. Do you mind putting this on the screen? Where's Jim?
Marco, how much will it retail for?
Let me see. I don't have the price here. I'll give him 1 second. Hold on.
When they came out that
Yeah, I got that,
DS1,
Mark.
it was like $110. It was a really good bargain for what you got. But I'm sure it's not. I know it's not like that anymore. But I'm just. They had kind of a niche market there where they were getting a good value on a really good controller. You know, you didn't have to spend $250. 194.
I got it, Marco.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, I thought you guys were talking about a Citroen.
Yes.
No.
Did you want Jim to share? Did you want Jim to share the picture?
Yeah, Jim, can you share it?
Jim, he wants you to share the picture.
That's what I sent you.
Come on, Jim. You're better than that, man.
Jim's not in charge of production of the show. Let's.
Yeah.
He's on-air talent.
I'm sorry,
I figured Marco could figure that out himself.
I figured he might have sent it to me, but
he couldn't figure it out.
There you go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Lots of
same
knobs.
shell they use
Oh,
for
yeah.
the DS1.
Yep.
I like it a lot. They have anodized knobs, very simple to deal with. Magnetic sensors for trigger, so no
wires and no wipers.
no wipers.
What is the difference between the two brakings?
Don't know.
It says normal and dynamic.
Oh yeah, dynamics probably like the curve or the
sweep
I read
one.
I read about that somewhere, and I don't remember now what they were saying about it.
Let me send you another.
Didn't he do a video on Facebook with it?
I believe so, in Spanish. I believe so, yeah.
I did see something, but I don't know whether it was a video. I know there was a little bit of extra explanation about both the brake. There was trying to remember now.
When are you getting him in? You getting him in December, you said?
No, it's gonna be here next week.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's another option. There's so many options now. The
I'll
Apex.
take a look at them when they come in, and I'll see if I can,
Yeah.
convince Marco to let me test one of Electric
Did you ever,
Dreams, and then
did
I
you
can
ever had a
report on
chance?
it.
Sorry, did you ever have a chance to look at the plus one?
Actually, I was in talks with that guy. Yeah, I was trying to bring him here, and some of our conversation was lost in translation. I believe his English is very good, mine is not, so maybe that's it. Yeah, there's no much margin, and he's already selling directly to here, and I wish I could see one before I may make a purchase of 10 of each. Yeah, it's a weird territory. I might buy one and just check it, but it's so many options out there.
Yeah, on
That's the
paper, it looks
Japanese
really
one,
good to
right?
me.
Yeah, the Japanese one, yeah. Yeah, we tried to work some deal to distribute it, but he didn't want to lower his margin. I couldn't do less because it's come from Japan. And also, it's for controllers, it's pretty tricky because if something goes wrong, we need to send back. And those guys are coming from Italy, from Norwegian, from Germany, and at least Spain here with Scale Auto. I have boxes coming back and forth, so we have this communication. But it's like we're dealing with Frankenslot, and Dennis is my witness here. The Frankenslot wireless controllers, they're pretty good, they're amazing. But if one breaks down and have to replace it, your profit's gone. You need to sell 20 controllers to get it back. So it's very risky. And if you cannot send back to Germany, they need to pay taxes to have this return, and then the guy needs to send it back. So it's very delicate, the situation of controllers. But guys like Slotted, DS, Scale Auto, it's international, but we have lines coming back and forth, so it's easier to deal with. And then we have good options here. I have DeFalco,
Third Eye's back.
Dirty Eyes back, yeah. We talked start Third Eye too, yeah.
So what is the dominant controller you would say it Electric Dreams for most of the competitive
People are
guys?
using the Apex from TrueSpeed, but this is a not new. Dennis has been using this for 15 years now, but that's the new go for it. But I think it's a little bit of overkill. I think there's only a couple of drivers who know how to deal with. The other drivers they need to learn how to drive and set up the car first before going to that step. There's a lot to learn to get one of those,
There's still a lot of guys running DeFalcos as well.
Yeah, DeFalco is still a very good option. There's a simple TrueSpeed that I like a lot.
I think that's the best value on the market. Just the standard TrueSpeed.
Yeah.
MT2, yeah.
And we're gonna have the Synapse coming back, the Synapse Lite, which is a very, very good controller, very, very modern, different approach of everybody else, and it's gonna be around the price of the DS one.
Well, there's a video I'd like to see on Electric Dreams. Go through budget, compare all prices.
Give me a week.
Okay, well, whenever.
Give you
Make Dennis do it. Make him do it.
Jesus, it's a lot. It's a lot.
That's why he needs a week, because he needs to talk to me
No,
about
a week of the video. The video is gonna be a week long, not a week to get ready.
Oh, yeah. We did do one quite a while back, but yeah.
Yeah, a while back we did one, but I think was talking about the digital controllers.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Marco, is there an update on the magazine that the model car magazine? Are you still working on that?
February 1st, it's gonna be out.
Oh, good, excellent.
Yeah, we're gonna close the showroom and the tracks in January. We're gonna have a big inventory and renovation going on. And on February 1st, we're gonna do a party reopening the store and releasing the magazine, and maybe bringing a couple of new cars. Yeah, February
Will that
1st.
be a monthly or bi-monthly or quarterly?
Yeah.
Want to give us any hints on the new NSR?
I don't know. He never says anything to us, and that's another thing from this event. He's bringing the car. He's bringing the car to show. So I don't know what it is. Based on his history, It might be a LMP car because he hadn't done anything LMP for a long time. He did Formula One, he did the Motor One, he did a KM.
It's
We
a
were
Datsun
we were
510.
trying to guess it based on the little teaser picture he put out.
I
What
didn't
they
see.
need is a Porsche. That's what they need. They need a new Porsche bad. The 997 is just, it's all the tooth by now. So they can make a great GT3 Porsche. And,
They've made a lot of GT3 cars lately, right? So they've had the McLaren, they've had the Corvette C8. You know, they don't have anything in LMP yet. And then and I guess the other thing would be a classic of some sort, because they haven't released one of those for a while.
I've been arguing it a lot with Andrea because he released a new package for 2025. I don't know if you guys noticed that. It's a paper package without the crystal, and I think it's not good for collectors because people like to stack. And I think the crystal case kind of protects a little bit from dust and everything else. And we've been arguing about that. He's really thinking about it. I don't think it's going to be a good thing for sales. And he comes with, oh, it's good for the environment. Sure, like you care about this now. I think it's nice when you see it, the big red and black package, but it's not practical. And another thing that I'm insisting with him is that the slotted, for example, they have the wrapping around it. And at the store, it's if you don't have the wrap, people don't consider the car new. So the little plastic seal wrap kind of confirms that you have like a collector's item, super rare, nobody ever touched it. So this is another thing that I think people should have on their cars. It's weird, but it's true.
I don't think it's going to be a Corvair.
Corvair?
That's a
Volvo.
shame.
Yeah,
That's such a
Corvair.
shame.
Oh yeah, jump for the Corvair then.
I
But
very
my-
much doubt it'll be a Nissan 510 or a Datsun 510 either.
No, that's not true. I think it's gonna be LMP because they're very competitive and everybody's in the LMP cars.
Yep.
And Ski Auto came up with a great system, the Pro system that they have with the Cadillacs, the Porsches, the Pedros. I think they want to compete there.
That car is working way better than I thought it would.
Very good. It's very, very good.
It is still long.
But it works. That's what I thought.
I don't know. I haven't been able to make one work yet.
Which car is that?
The Scale Auto LMPs, any of them. Well, so far, I think that the nicest handling one to me is the Peugeot, although it looks really weird without a wing on the back. But to me, they just feel very long. And as a result, maybe it just doesn't suit my driving style. But the couple of times we've run LMPs at Electric Dreams lately, you know, I've gone back to a slotted Lola because the car just feels better to me. But,
yeah, we're starting that class at Motown, but it's going to be limited to Scale Auto only, just to keep them all the same.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Mike was using SRC. I don't remember if it was the Toyota or the Porsche, but the car was
yeah, those actually I have two. I have one of each of the SOCs as well, and I prefer them to the Scale Autos. But it's probably because the motor is a little bit less torquey. The Scale Auto motor has 400 centimeters of torque, and it'll just twist the car out of the slot if you're not careful.
It's actually pretty decent even on my Scale Extra short track with lots of turns in it. I'm blown away. I really did not expect it to be that great. And when I first got it, it was quite a handful, but a set of GR25 tires on it, and it's a rocket. I just set the lap record with mine. And it's speed off all the other. Yeah. Yeah, the Porsche 963 I've got.
Oh,
is that the gold one you showed us earlier?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Same.
The next one,
well, different body, but yeah.
The next one they're releasing is the gold, but it's kind of the yellow Cadillac, and that's going to be the very first car licensed by Chip Ganassi via Electric Dreams.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Now that he's not doing it anymore.
So that's
the car was done. The car was done before, and he's not going to race GTP IMSA next year. So It's probably gonna come next year with Genesis, the luxurious brand from Hyundai. And it's kind of weird because those cars are all the same. When we were in Indianapolis a couple weeks ago and we visited the Dallara factory, and Dallara designs and makes everything. So the tube is the same. The design of the whole body is made by Dallara. So the cars are pretty much the same. They don't only change the motors. What the manufacturers are putting on the motors. The BMW is made by Dallara. The Cadillac is made by Dallara. So everything done there, and they have to order parts from Dallara. It's just that the mechanical suspension and motor is different, but the body and the car is everything's the same wheel base, same everything.
Yeah. No.
Cool. Well, I see our fearless leader has departed and left me in charge. And I guess if there's nothing else to sort of chat about, we can just end it a little early and we can regroup next week. So